why do you kill him?
It's Hark, the 87th Precinct podcast bonus here. We've just been looking at our editions of the book. We've all got what we thought was exactly the same edition, but we have noticed a small difference in the copyright notice.
It was the additional presence of lacquer on one of the covers that led to this.
Now, I'll tell you one thing I did notice. On the barcode on the back of it, it's got a website address, which in this case is cover design, www.blacksheep.uk.co.
Yeah, I've just seen that as well.
It's
outrageous.
got a reverse.co.uk. And I'm not going to type it in because I don't want to know if it still exists and whether that has ever worked.
I really do.
I think that's a typo. So do you want to describe the cover a bit, Steve-O?
Yes, well, this is the Orion UK edition. And mine and Morgan's are both the second impression, but visually they are the same.
Whereas mine says this paperback edition published 2003, so like mine's the second edition, but it's pretending to be a first edition.
Whereas this
new paperback
is a... Yes, I'm not quite sure. This is a second impression of that first edition. But it's got what look like bullet holes with through paper, which doesn't really make much sense.
There are guns in the book, though.
But they're burnt, and you can see revealed through the holes is the trigger of what looks like a Colt automatic
pistol.
I don't yeah, you can't have an
does.
automatic revolver.
No, that
means
would...
it's not a pistol. And then an 87th Precinct police shield.
And a bit of a police report possibly there,
Yeah,
I
something
think.
like that.
Yeah.
And some shadows of bullets.
It doesn't necessarily make that much sense, but it's, it makes more sense than some of the covers of other editions of Ed McBain novels that we've seen.
Well, we looked at the original cover as well, didn't we? Just before we kicked off with everything, and that was
fairly garish, wasn't it? Yellow.
Again, another sort of yellow spine,
red text,
and it's got the tagline: "Any cop could be the next victim. Every cop was out to kill the ... cop hater."
Works for me.
But it's got a sort of photographic quality to it. It's actually got photos of people, which is odd for a book where you're trying to establish characters through descriptions which are specific in some ways, but vague enough to let you, imagine them yourself. But I think they're actually, apart from possibly two of them, they look like they might have actually been taken from police records or actual police procedures, because it seems like someone's doing some scientific policey stuff at the bottom with,
it does there, doesn't
with
it?
Rifling of bullets or something like that. And there's someone up here doing something with fingerprints or something. But then there's a bare-shouldered dame in the middle.
Naturally.
Which makes it, again, it's a very throwback book cover, isn't it? Rather than a progressive, stark looking forward, graphic designy type thing.
Perma Books, the complete book, just in case you thought you were buying the first half of it or the second half.
As a designer,
you said every other page missing.
Although it's got the photographs on there, it is very much of its time, and you wouldn't have been surprised if you bought that and it was just another corny Mickey Spillane kind of bit of nonsense entertainment.
That's a book that could have been published any time between 1935 and 1955.
Absolutely,
really,
yeah.
How do either of you know how this book was received upon its original publication in terms of popularity,
I don't
reception?
know, but I have a feeling that they were pretty well received pretty quickly, because he very quickly, I think the deal he got was extended from 3 books to just keep writing.
I can only imagine that they'd have done pretty well.
But as we'll come on to those, is it the first 3 books? It does reach a sort of conclusion at the end of potentially. So it was clearly written as a small series.
We'll have to
initially.
do a bit of research and see if we can find out about that, because it's quite hard to find that sort of information, because everything just tends to be classified down to facts and figures in the internet.
Yep.
So, for instance, I can tell you that this was Perma Books number M3037, and it cost you 25 cents in 1956.
Oof.
But I can't tell you how people thought about it.
So you get a lot of. I always quite like the reviews, but you've absolutely no idea when they, whether that was
It's just critical acclaim for Ed McBain. So from the last 40 years at this stage.
Or a nice little review there from Elmore Leonard, of course, which...
rightly so.
If you're going to listen to anybody's opinion on such matters...
Another great crime writer with a history of writing pulps under pseudonyms as well, yeah.
Yep. With I think he's quite similar to McBain in terms of like the humour scene throughout as well. Perhaps a little more with certainly some of his...
I like these copies of books where they've got the form in the back that you can tear out and send off to buy your books. Has anyone actually ever torn out of the back of like a penguin or an Orion or whatever it is
and put your credit card
credit card details on it, or enclosed a cheque to a British Forces post office box?
I might do that right now.
I think you should. You see, a free post BR 535 in Worthing, Sussex is still going.
That's true, yeah.
Or you could fax it through, or facsimile it through. It doesn't even say fax. It's got an email address, but it doesn't say fax. It says facsimile. How very strange. Just goes to show you how far the internet's come. I mean, those kids are really doing well with the internet, aren't they? You know, Ken and Sandra internet.
Better than could ever be expected.
Yeah. So there we go. There's some bonus chat about the book cover, so I think that'll...
Typeset in Birkenhead, Merseyside.
I don't know that font.
In Delta Type.
Oh, yeah, Delta Type.
By Delta Type.
Oh.
Ow.
Delta Type's not a font. I think it's been done in... is that Comic Sans? Or...
I'm never reading a novel in Comic Sans.
The front cover's been done in one of those fonts you can download that's supposed to look like a ransom note or a bad typewriter.
Oh, it looks very gritty, doesn't it?
It does look very gritty. And, yeah, lovely. Orion fiction. The Independent on Sunday said, the finest police procedural series ever. Keep them coming, Ed.